When it comes to raising children, it is never, ever easy. Sure, once you raise them to become competent, well-meaning adults, they can go off and do great things. They can get a dream. They can hold on to it and shoot for the sky. They can go off into the world and do great, great things. And you can be happy knowing that you raised a very, very smart young adult that can do great things, greater than you could ever have hoped. And it can be the most rewarding thing for a parent. You can just stand up and applaud yourself and be all happy and everything. But until then, when they are young and defenseless, like when they're infants, fresh out of the womb, as opposed to adults fresh out of the womb, that would have been really, really strange. They will test your patience. They will take the patience and continue to stretch and grate and slice on it and everything to the point that you just want to scream at the child, would you shut up? Give me 5 fucking seconds. Just please stop crying. Please calm down. What do I have to do to get you to calm down? And then when your significant other, especially if you're a mother, the husband says, oh, you did this to me, you bastard. You never help out. Nah, mothers can absolutely have a pure hell on earth experience when it comes to raising children, even though it can be very, very rewarding. And that is really on display in Baby Ruby, directed by Bess Wohl, who wrote Irreplaceable You. That's a Netflix original I've been meaning to get around to. She's also acted in a handful of movies. And this stars Noémie Merlant. I'm pretty certain I probably mispronounced that. She's French. If you've seen Portrait of a Lady on Fire, the lady that did the painting of the lady that is apparently on fire, the painter, the master painter, as it were, that's her. That's her. So she plays Jo. Hey, Jo Mama. There's a joke right there. And also her husband, Spencer, played by Kit Harington. Not to be confused with Kif. Kif, I need a assistance in the shower. And, oh, I'm sorry, you're crying like a woman. Kit Harington apparently is in Game of Thrones. I've never seen a single full episode of Game of Thrones, but I couldn't figure out why he looked familiar. And also, Meredith Hagner. She plays Shelley. Not Shelley Duvall, because a completely different name. And there's also Reed Burmey. He plays a doctor, and there are a few other people in this drama with horror elements and suspense about a mother that is going through it. She's a vlogger, an influencer, but her life gets turned upside down all around. Come on, defense work when her and Spencer bring Ruby into the world, hence the name Baby Ruby. And basically Jo just goes through it. She's dealing with, various feelings, like, because your body chemistry is all off when you have a child. This is what I'm told by various people I know that have had kids. Just want to say that, because I don't have any kids of my own. Obviously would not be able to experience that particular 9-month odyssey. Thank fucking goodness. I'd probably go nuts. I'm not Arnold Schwarzenegger in Junior. Feel how soft my skin is. That's it. But nevertheless, basically what ends up happening is she starts to suspect that people are out to get her and her life's getting turned all upside down and everything. And yeah, a little bit of a spoiler. It's about postpartum depression, in case that description didn't quite, hit it right on the goddamn head. Miss Merlant isn't bad as far as an actress, though I would think that Kit Harington is a little bit old for her, because if you read up about the particular type of guy that she likes to date, yeah, a little bit old, because French. Why are there so many weird French actors and actresses and directors that like to date people younger? What is this? What is it about Hollywood in this, and I don't get it? Nevertheless, off my soapbox there, the acting's fine. It's not great. I thought we were going to go a Hush route. If you've seen the movie Hush with Gwyneth Paltrow, not the Hush Netflix original, you might have understood why I might have thought that, but no. It just ends up basically being an exercise in listening to a baby cry forever, forever, forever. If you hate hearing babies cry, you're not going to like this movie. You're not going to like this movie at all. I don't like children one bit. Children deserve to be raised in a loving environment. I really can't stand children. I don't like being in traffic for more than 5 minutes. So I can only imagine what it's like to raise a young, human and bring it up in this world. The act, it's well-meaning, and there's a nice message here. And Bess Wohl certainly shows, enough, natural skill as far as a writer and as far as a director that there's potential for her to grow and do bigger and better projects. This isn't bad. It's just also been done quite a bit, in various forms in other movies. And that's basically kind of what dooms it. Also, the fact that it does the postpartum thing good at times, and at other times it's like, we're just going to go flat out weird. And a lot of that stuff doesn't necessarily land. I can't say it's necessarily horrible, and absolutely give it a look. It's on Amazon for I think about $7-8, and I plunked that down because why not? You know, a little bit of money supports the artist. That's what people should do. Why pirate a movie? That way, good directors and writers, and even people that try but maybe miss the mark on some projects, can grow and do bigger and better things. That's really all I have to say, though, because Miss Merlant does fine. She's pretty much the central focus here. Kit Harington kind of just gets forgotten about, and then there's Mother Doris, not Natasha. No, it's like, no, you're not going to be Boris. You're going to be Doris. Good old True Lies. Lauren Beveridge, not to be confused with the drink, but like a beverage. Nevertheless, movie ends up being fine. Ends up being fine with a couple decent low acting spikes, and it's a little uneven. Okay, it's a lot uneven. But again, Best Wolf shows potential as far as being a writer and director. So that's all I'm going to say right there. I'm going to get into spoilers. The spoilers will not take very long, just so you know. 3, 2, 1. Warning. Spoilers. Okay. So basically, she meets this girl, Shelley, played by Meredith. Not a bitch, not a lover. She's a child and a mother. Not a sinner, not a saint, but she does not feel ashamed. Boy, that really is a bad reading of Meredith Brooks' lone hit song. She meets her after Ruby is, wearing on Joe's last nerve. And they're like, hey, let's go out to this restaurant. Doris, who's Spencer's mother, is watching and occasionally tells Joe stories about how Spencer was a crier and stuff like that. But Joe just continues to slide into madness, into like further depression, postpartum, all that. And also her social media influencer job suffers because she's, days blend together and everything. She's not really having much of a chance to do anything. The doctors suggest, hey, maybe you need some time away. Maybe just take it easy, rely on some people. People want to help you. But basically, the postpartum just makes Joe hear voices and all that stuff. She goes out one night and has a great time with a bunch of mothers, including Shelley. Shelley and her end up getting very frisky in a car. Why? Because they are both repressed in their marriages. Well, Shelley in particular. And it is what it is. And Joe thinks that it was a dream. But then it turns out that actually she just ghosted Shelley because, again, she's forgetting exactly how many, days blend together. And Doris tells a story about how she was going to cut like a knife into Spencer because he just wouldn't stop crying. But, I came to my senses. None of this happened. So Joe continues to lose it. Finally, an intervention is done with Spencer and Doris where they say, hey, you need to go to therapy, a place where you can relax. Don't do it if you want to go through it. Relax. Don't do it if you want to go. What ends up happening is she ends up panicking, taking Ruby in the car, crashing, and now she has to rehab physical injuries, including a broken arm, and learn how to walk better and everything. But Ruby's fine. Ruby's totally fine. She gets better, and the doctor basically says, yes, postpartum depression, which everybody knew. Anybody with, half a brain cell could have figured that out. I'm not knocking the writing. I'm not knocking the directing. I'm just saying it's very simple at the end of the day. Joe comes home. Joe kind of panics still because she's worried that these feelings could come back even though she's better. Ruby's doing better, but Ruby has a crying fit again. And she's like, oh, don't worry, Ruby. It'll be totally fine. It'll be totally fine. And then somebody suddenly takes Ruby and carries her off into the woods. And who is it? It's herself. It's herself. She thinks that it's, that she's at war with her own feelings and everything. And this is after being at war with Shelley. Panicking because she thinks Shelley was trying to take her kid, that Shelley never actually had a kid or lost her kid. And maybe all this stuff's in her head, whatever. But Joe has this feeling, has this heart to heart with herself and says, no, this is my child. I'm taking her. And then she leaves herself in a field, and then she's staying in the field, outstanding in her field like she's a scarecrow. And that's it. That's the end of that. Baby crying soundtrack going up 500% there. Again, not bad. Well filmed. And again, Bess Wool certainly shows promise as a director, but overall C+. Not great, not bad. I've certainly seen a lot worse this year. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retlin. I'll see you soon.